to another episode of Project Miata. Today's project, what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the valve cover and replace the valve cover gasket. And it's a one-piece gasket. I'll give you guys a close-up in a bit. Apparently the part that is having issues is this little grommet which covers the spark plug hole. And one of them's leaking, or the first two are leaking, so I want to redo that. Stay tuned, guys.
Do you know the way back to other days when my heart was innocent? I cashed it in for pocket change, lost my way with nothing gained. I've been singing songs and I've been working hard, trying to catch a shooting star, but everything is foreign here, clouded up and full of fear. Just take me home.
So what I wanted to show you guys, this one right here, this looks like the one that's leaking, and this one up here. So we're gonna change that whole gasket, and then we're gonna review the actual camshafts right now, see what they look like. And let's wipe this down because that's gonna smell once we turn the car back on. Let me wipe it down. It'll start smoking right there, it gets hot. So as we looked at them, some of these look kind of okay. And then here's the timing belt. I can't tell if they've changed it or not. We have to change that at some point, I think. Alright, so I'm gonna clean all the residual oil that's on the edge so there's a nice clean seal. And it looks like they used some kind of like sealant right here on these little cam loops that are right here and right here. So I'll do the same. I'm gonna go online and see if they use any if it's ideal to use some around here, maybe around here, to make a better seal. But for now, I'm gonna clean it. I'm using a microfiber rag. Don't use the paper towel because you can leave particles in here, and this doesn't leave any particles behind. So just sacrifice a microfiber towel, and try not to use a regular towel, like a terry cloth, like the ones that you use for the shower when you, like a towel. Those a lot of stuff falls off, and these are pretty good on not having any follicles fall off. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the old valve cover gasket. Oh my god, this thing's so hard. Okay, there it goes. And then the next thing we're gonna do is spray Simple Green in here and get this really clean. We're gonna dry it up. Simple Green breaks up all this residue, and what's gonna be really important is to clean these grooves in here because we want the gasket to sim firm, and you can see there's like residue, so I might even use a toothbrush in that section. See that buildup that's in here? I guarantee you that's why when they first replaced it, that's why it leaked. It's a lot thinner, but it looks pretty thick. But I already scrubbed it down a little bit. I bet it was off. You can see it in the front. And the middle ones are pretty clean. That's why they were sealing correctly. So I'm gonna go get a toothbrush and get in these cracks and all of this edges right here. As you can see, there's still residue. All that black stuff, I want to get it out.
Take me home.
Alright guys, I'm gonna try something interesting. I'm not happy how clean the valve cover got. Pretty clean, but it still has stains on it and it still looks nasty, and I'm not happy with it. So we're gonna paint it. First we're gonna use filler primer. This stuff, I love filler primer. Whenever I can use it, it's my favorite. It's really thick stuff, and then paint loves to stick to filler primer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the lettering in red, and then we're gonna let that dry. And after we do that, well, first we're gonna primer the whole valve cover. Then we're gonna paint this red. After I paint that red, I'm gonna throw some Vaseline in here somehow. Throw some Vaseline in here, and then I'm gonna spray the whole valve cover this high temp cast iron gray. So I think it would look pretty cool to have some contrast of a gray. And if it doesn't come out good, I'll just paint it all cast iron gray. So we'll see how that comes out. Okay, so I finally went and got another filler primer. We're using filler primer. The reason why you want to use filler primer is because it fills all the imperfections on the metal. If you ever see, like, there's like sometimes, like, if paint's peeling, you try to paint over there, there's like that step. Well, this helps fill it in. It's really thick primer. I love this stuff. I always try to use this before I paint something. So let's get to painting. Looks smooth as heck. Now it dried. This stuff dries fast, probably 2 minutes in the sun, and it's dry to the touch. It's been sitting for like 2 minutes. So now we're gonna spray the red. So we pretty much put the Vaseline in there. I forgot to hit record. I'm gonna end up cleaning all the Vaseline on the edges and try not to touch the Vaseline that's in the actual lettering. Alright guys, so the valve cover is completely painted now. For some reason right here it got really light, and I sprayed it like 3 times and it still didn't come out, so I was gonna call it a day. Looks pretty decent to me. And so we're gonna start taking out the Vaseline out of the logos, and we're gonna use a Q-tip. So let's see if this idea worked. Oh. So that Q-tip didn't work. I'm gonna try a zip tie. It's a little sharper. Alright, so we took off one of them, and unfortunately I am not satisfied how it came out, but it was a good try. It's like a 20-footer. We haven't done this one yet, but if you look close enough, you'll see that some of the edges came off. Like this little part of the A is supposed to have gray. So I'm gonna just clean it all up and paint it all one solid color. Unfortunately it didn't work out, but it didn't hurt to try. So paint that solid color. So you don't want to put too much. You don't want it to go in the cam, in the head, and then go in your motor. So that's where you want to put it, in this corners right here. Little crevices, just enough to seal it. I think that's more than enough. And then I just put it on my finger. It's the easiest way. Some more. There you go. That's the corners. You can see very minimal. You don't want to use too much. So this is the pattern that we're going to use. So 1 being the middle, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This will be the pattern. You guys can freeze that if you guys need it. I'm going to do all these hand tight first. And the best tip to get the thread right so you don't cross thread it, go counterclockwise until it clicks. Once it makes a click, turn it back clockwise. The engine bay looks a lot cleaner now. Look at that. This looks better. I did take some time and clean the engine bay, so we'll get it started. But that's it right there. It just looks nice. A lot cleaner. I should have just gone this route from the beginning, but I tried to get fancy and I ended up screwing myself. But that comes with the territory. So we'll start it right now. See what happens. We're on. So we'll let it run for a little bit. I also changed off camera. I changed the fill filter, so it took a little bit to get going, but I think we're good. She's back on. All right, guys. So that wraps up this episode. We changed the valve cover gasket. We also painted it and went through some troubles. But at the end of the day, we got the job done and it looks pretty cool. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for the next Project Miata episode. Alright guys, so I decided to paint this bumper because my car looks like a whoop-de ride. I'll pull up the Urban Dictionary of that. But basically it looks pretty ghetto. So that's halfway and it looks pretty decent.